Hello, grade 3 and 4. Good morning. It is Monday, April 6th when you are watching this, and I hope that you have all had a great weekend. I hope that you were having lots of fun and enjoying some time with your family, hopefully getting some fresh air, although it is kind of yucky outside. So if you do go outside to get some fresh air, bundle up, stay warm. I just wanted to send a quick video to kind of go over what is in your package for this week. So some of you might have already started your work for this week last Thursday or Friday when your parents came and picked it up, and that's awesome. If you haven't, that's okay, because you still have a few days until our next pickup drop-off day this Thursday. So this week for LA, we are focusing on rhyme, similes, metaphor, just kind of get our poetry unit rolling. We're also working on rhyme, alliteration, and personification. Now, these are some things that we've talked a little bit about before, so we should all have an idea of what they mean. So in your package, you're going to find a simile activity where you have to come up with 3 similes. That's a comparison using like or as. So, for example, Miss Malinowski's Loman sweatshirt is as bright as the sun. We're also going to do an alliteration activity. One example of alliteration that's in our classroom is our giant colorful wall that says Miss Malinowski's marvelous, musical, magnificent, memorable grade 3-4 class. That is a fine example of alliteration where we're repeating the first sound of the word that we hear. In that example, it would be the letter M. Miss Malinowski's marvelous, musical, magnificent, memorable grade 3-4 class. On Wednesday, we're doing our word sort, same as we've done since the beginning of the year. You will each have instructions. You can glue them onto the papers and pop them back in the envelope for me to mark, and then I'll send them back for you to put them in your notebooks. On Thursday, I've asked you to write a letter to your future self. Now, this is kind of interesting. These are some crazy times. None of us have lived through anything like this before, and we are kind of living through history, which is crazy to think about. But I know even though we're going to remember these times, it will be neat to have a letter that you're writing to yourself that you can look back on in the future. Of course, I've also asked you to read for 30 minutes every day. That can be on RAS, or just reading a traditional book, or even reading out loud to one of your family members. That's awesome too. In math, you will each have a little booklet on patterns. Now, my grade 3s, we're focusing on growing patterns. So that's ascending patterns. That's where we have a couple of things, or like the first little bit of a pattern, and we have to watch it grow. We have to give the next step, or the next 2 steps, or the next 3 steps in the pattern. That's our growing patterns. In addition to that, we also have our shrinking patterns. Let me just find the page here. A shrinking pattern is where we start with a high number or a big number, whether that is the number 61 or 10 blocks or 10 stars or whatever it is, and the numbers or shapes or pattern decreases. So that's a shrinking pattern where we're either counting backwards, or the patterns start with a higher number and move backwards. With my grade 4s, we're starting off with some of our growing patterns just as an example. In the back here, this is where it is a little bit different from the grade 3s. My grade 4s, you are going to be working with tables and charts a little bit. So we can see a pattern, but just laid out in a different way. So in this example here, it gives us 4 different weeks and a different amount each week. So this is a pattern. It just looks a little bit different. It's a different way to write it. So just like here, we have growing patterns and shrinking patterns. We are given a few numbers. It looks like the number's getting bigger, which would be a growing pattern, and you have to figure out the missing number. So my grade 4s, you're going to be working with some tables and charts, and I will send you a little bit of a video later on to review that a little bit. So I've given you 1 to 2 pages to work on each day. They're quick, they're short. This one only has 4 questions. Oh dear. If you ever have any questions, or if you're not sure of how to do something, or if you want more work, or if you're feeling like, oh, this is too much, I need a little bit of a break, please let me know. You can send me an email with any questions. Your parents can get a hold of me as well. I hope that you have a great week and happy Monday. We'll talk to you soon.